Welcome to the Hump Podcast. It's July 16th, getting recorded on the 19th because I was late. And I'm going to move over here. Did you hear me moving the mic there? I'm late with it, but now we're up and I have a guest, a local guy. He just got a sex change. And
it's working out brilliantly.
Working out great.
Yeah.
Another comic, of course. Been on the scene for 2 years now?
Yep. I had my 2-year anniversary June 21st, I think it was.
Oh, so fucking last month. Yeah. Mr. Jason Card.
What's up?
What's up? First time I seen you was at the St. John's Comedy Fest. You did the workshop, right?
That was my inaugural go at it.
Yeah.
That was my first, and what it was, I've been an actor since '94. And gave it up in 08 because 09 because life was getting a bit too busy and I couldn't keep up with performing and like leading a double life kind of thing. And I missed performing in 2012 came around and I had missed performing for 3 years and all that sort of stuff. And Pete put a call out for people for this workshop. You pay $50, you get to work with a master comedian like Trent McClellan. And then you get to be in a show. And I hadn't been in a show forever. I'd always thought I would be good at stand-up, but I didn't know. And, you don't know till you know, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to do it. And it was brilliant. Trent still own huge. And if anyone ever gets to work with this guy or talk to this guy, do it because he's awesome. It was a 2-day seminar for $50, so it was steal of the century. And learned exponentially how to be a competent comedian. And went out that night and had an amazing time and really enjoyed it. And a few people said to me afterwards, you should go up to Yuck Yucks and do that again on their AM night, which was Thursdays.
Back in the day,
which we should talk about that because I think that we should still be doing that. But anyway.
So do I.
Yeah, for real. But anyway, so we had a different development system then. And on Thursdays, there was a 45-minute show before the pro show started. And local comics got to go up and do their thing before the pro show. And anyway, I went up and did that 2 or 3 times. And Steve Coombs was the guy that was in charge of it at the time. Coombsy, I owe him huge as well. And he saw something there, and he would tutor me after I was coming off stage and stuff. And then Tony Crollo came down from Yuck Yucks, and Matt Wright and I got our wings at the same time. We were both allowed to. We were tested out on a split middle 10 each during a pro weekend. And if we did well, we would be allowed to continue to work and get paid at that club, just St. John's only.
Yeah.
So we weren't signed by Funny Business, Inc., but we were allowed to play professionally locally. And it worked out, and then I started getting gigs, and it's just been amazing. And it's a lot better. It's not like when you're on the acting scene, because when you're in film, you've got to, whatever time the film needs you for, you have to be available. Done, end of story, and there's no can I step away for an hour to do X, Y, or Z, or can I? You're theirs for whatever time they need you. Plus, there's lead up time because they'll give you a script or whatever. That sometimes or sometimes you get the script on the day. It's really intense, but there's no messing around with the schedule there. And when you're doing a play, you can rehearse for as much as 10 weeks in the evenings or daytimes or whatever, and then you do a show for a week that people may or may not come to, and then it's over with. But there's a ton of work for just 1 week.
Yeah.
Whereas with comedy, I can pop on stage because I got a workable routine and do it whenever, and there's not a hell of a lot of prep to it once it's established.
Yeah.
And you got it worked out. Basically, it's about how much time you want to invest in the writing and then the rewriting and the editing. That's your time beast with comedy. So it's much better for me, and I've got about I'd say 75, 80 minutes of material I can rely on now. So it's been really, really rewarding. There's nothing like getting a laugh. It's. I find it way more rewarding than anything I've ever done.
Have you had a blow there? Have you had a blow job? It's I got equal. I mean, it's not on the same level. I think.
No. Yeah.
Have you ever finger in your ass there?
Yeah. No. From a performance perspective, not an overall life perspective, it's more rewarding.
No, I've done that on stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember, I used to do that in my act. I used to blow.
You're a groundbreaker, buddy. That's where it goes.
And now for the big finish. You get to blow me. What?
You're huge in Amsterdam.
I am.
Yeah. Sex shows.
I'm like the David Hasselhoff of Amsterdam.
Yeah, right.
I eat burgers on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I remember seeing you that night. because I was there too.
Yeah, I
didn't do
remember.
the workshop, but I did the open mic thing portion of it.
Yeah.
Fuck man, that's when a lot of you guys started out to get like around the same time. You met Adam.
Yeah.
Adam started around that time. When did Jessica start out?
Jess has celebrated her 1 year anniversary in early, like June 11th or something like that.
Okay, so I mean, give or take a year. Yeah, a lot of you guys came around the same time.
Yeah. It's a scene, and it's nice, and it's developing its own gravitational pull. Like, it's getting its own kind of
Oh, it was a lot.
right?
Not this Wednesday, but last week. I did the Wednesday, and there was 3 new people, 3 improv people trying it out. So, like, a lot of people just, I don't know what it is, like, they smell blood in the water or something, and they're trying it out.
But the improv kids are the next wave. I can promise you. Mike Hammond, Mike Fardy, Stephen Payette, these guys, they're going to be the ones everyone's talking about in 2 or 3 years' time, provided that they want to stay with it. Because these are some extremely talented fuckers, and they have improv, and they have sketch, and they're also now messing around with stand-up comedy. But I've seen the 3 of them. Actually, Mike Fardy did his stand-up debut when I was running the Laughter Glow Comedy Showroom downtown.
Yeah.
And he debuted. And I was...
Is that getting started back up? Are you doing anything with that?
Well, see, Nautical Nelly was the host for that.
It was getting renovated or whatever.
Yeah, and it's still getting renovated.
Oh, is it?
It's still shut down.
Jesus.
So, yeah, it's unfortunate that the show ended. And
That was a good room.
it was a great room, and there was a lot of people. The only other thing about it, too, I mean, the renovations were coming, so there's nothing I could do about closing the room from that perspective. But then I had some conversations while the renovations were ongoing with the management. And if we were going to restart it, one of the things they wanted to do is they wanted to put a language restriction on the show. And I'm not keen to do that.
No.
Because if the whole idea of that room...
Why is it a fucking pub?
Well, fair enough, right? But there was one night where we had like a lot of blue material, one off the other. And it's just because sometimes that happens, right?
Yeah.
But there was someone who was a patron of the place that was also friends with the manager, and they mentioned that they found the show was a bit offensive or something like that, right? And I didn't
That's comedy, though.
Well, it is, and you got to understand that. But see, they would understand that at Yuck Yuck St. John's.
Yeah, but I guess the
Right.
club that does not. Yeah.
Right, but yeah, a club that doesn't deal with it is just a bar. They don't understand, and they don't want to offend their patrons or their lifelong members or whatever. So I get it, but the point of that room was to try out new material in an open comedy lab kind of setting, so that you could tell what works and what didn't, and stretch your legs and pressure borders and whatever else. And if you can't do that, what's the point? So when the restaurant reopens, the restaurant pub reopens, Nautical Nelly's, I don't know that I'll reestablish that room. It was unfortunate because it was like, consistently 35, 40 people a night, and it was a good audience, and they were drunk and whatever. Like, I mean, it was a proper festive kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, it was a good environment. Yeah,
But
I mean, if you did that, the comics, here would either clean it up or you'd lose a lot of the.
I think I'd lose.
Acts,
Is what you would do more than anything. I mean, people would still want the exposure and whatever, but there'd be a lot of folks, and it'd be really unfortunate because like Josh Taylor's one of my favorite locals.
Yeah.
Right, and he's one of the best blue comics. Like, I mean, short of someone like Darren Frost or Jason Rouse or something coming to town. Like, he's great. He kills me every time I watch him. And so, he wouldn't be able to do his thing if I went with these language restrictions and content restrictions, and I don't want to do that.
It's right, because he's one of the nicest guys.
Yeah.
But his persona on stage is like, this guy's a fucking holy shit. And if he's up, like, hey man, what's up? It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those guys that like just developed a whole different persona.
Yeah. For folks that are listening and don't know who I'm talking about, Josh Taylor, he's an awesome comic, but like he dresses up in full on biker gear. Like, I mean, that's his look and that's his lifestyle. And so it's all like Black Label Society everywhere.
Sons of Anarchy stuff, yeah.
Leather chaps and everything. My way of introducing him all the time was the Sons of Anarchy of stand-up comedy, right? Like, that's what I used to say. And but like, to meet him outside of it, he's just like the gentlest soul. He's awesome. He's a great cat. But and that's the best. That is the strength of this scene that we got, is that we're all wildly different.
Yeah,
we're all wildly different. Like, I'm a rant comic. Matt's to set him up, knock him down, like one-liner kind of comic kind of thing. Like, he does it really quick. Like Josh is like really blue material. Benson does exclusively clean. Like, he's really committed to being a clean comic, and he talks about winning, off the side. You're a bit, like, if I had to summarize you really quickly, you're kind of an insult comic. Like, you're there to be a shit disturber on stage.
I don't know what mine is.
That's and you are still stretching your legs and finding your borders and all that kind of stuff, right? And everyone evolves rapidly when they're in their first couple of years, kind of thing, right? But nevertheless, there's no one that I've ever seen that's more willing to take on the audience and doesn't care at all what their impression of what he's doing is than yourself, right? Which is, I think that's going to be a huge asset for you, like as you continue on through, because it reminds me a little bit of Patrice O'Neill.
A great comic.
Right. Oh, he's one of the best. He blew my mind. I didn't know about Patrice. I'm ashamed to say it. I didn't know who Patrice O'Neill was until I opened for Mike Wilmot. And that was more than a year ago now. But like I opened for Mike Wilmot, and Wilmot was so great the entire time he was here. Very kind to me and everyone in the scene. One of the most approachable cats. But he said, yeah, if you're not listening to Patrice O'Neill, then I don't know what you're doing with your life. So like I went and listened to, right away I watched Elephant in the Room and was completely enamored. And like I actually changed my writing style after that. Like I started writing more controversial stuff. Like I wrote the routine Old People Must Go after watching Patrice O'Neill. Just to see, because I was amazed at how much he could push the line and get away with it and still come off as charming and like everyone's still liking him and saying stuff. Like one of his best lines, like he saw a couple in the front row. He said, hey dude, how long have you been going out with this girl? 8 years. Yeah, what's your fantasy for killing her? Right? And like everyone laughed, and he got away with it because he was just that personable. But just amazing, right? Like,
too bad he died.
Yeah,
he was a great fucking comic.
Yeah.
No, I've wondered about like I've thought about it too, like the different fucking chair, man. Every goddamn time I fucking do this, the goddamn chair. I thought about it too, like you look at the comics locally and try to categorize them. Like I just wrote, I have 6 one-liners now.
Right.
I don't want to be a one-liner comic, but I have 6 one-liners. I did them for the first time last week, and they worked.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. But like I don't want to be that kind of like I like it. Like Tim Vine. I don't know if you heard Tim Vine. He's an English comic. Hilarious. One of my favorite comics, hands down. And all he does is one-liners and like word puns, and he does some kind of prop stuff.
Yeah.
Like he has a show because Velcro, what a ripoff.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's fucking hell. I don't know what it is. I love it. I find it hilarious. And so I'm going to try it. They're actually really hard to write. One-liners are hard as fuck to write.
It is the worst art, like in terms of demand on the comic.
Yeah.
Like who was here recently? The guy that dances.
Winston Spear.
Winston Spear.
He did the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Winston is amazing, but like Winston does
hilarious.
a lot of that material. Like he does like quick one-offs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so like in a 90-minute set, you could be telling as many as 180 jokes.
Yeah.
Like. How do you do a set list for that, first of all?
How do you remember them?
How do you remember? And then, like, just... And then the writing that goes into it. You got to be so concise and precise and awesome and...
and consistent. Like, they're hard. They're fucking... Like, there's a reason why I only have 5 or 6.
Right.
They're hard as shit. Yeah. And plus, like, you think, like, oh, that's funny. And then you hear someone else go, oh, he did it.
Yeah.
Like, there's one guy, I don't know who he is. He's a younger comic. I just seen him on YouTube one day. And he was one-liner. And he, the way that he ended his set, he was like, okay... I'm going to leave you guys on a high note. And he just, he left, and I was like, that's an awesome way to end your set. Just, it's clever, it's witty, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, just one, I think he's like 17 or 18. And I was like, fuck, man, those British comics, they love their quick one-line, like Stuart Francis. He lives over there now.
Yeah, and he's good. I say, though, if you're going to talk about Brit comics, one of my heroes is Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr, yeah, he's good.
Oh,
he used to do
my God,
he used to do a show.
Him, man.
He used to host a show on the Comedy Network years ago. I know what show it was.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And I can't remember what show.
He hosts a zillion shows over in Britain, and he's a staple over at Just for Laughs now. Like, he does the show every year, but...
he trade.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah. He's a beast. And he's another one that I think maybe I like the comics that push the limits a little bit, but get away with it kind of thing, because he's always pushing the limits.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, my favorite, and as people would know, because I probably fucking mention him every podcast, is Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Love Bill Burr. Goddamn, hanging off Bill Burr. Met him. Got to see his show in Halifax. My God.
Yeah.
What like, you watch him go, that's a comedian.
Yeah.
Like him and Louis C.K., just like, how do you even write stuff like that?
That's right.
Will I ever be that good? Like, it's like, how do you get that to that pinnacle of performance?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Billy.
First thing
Billy.
First thing I ever saw Bill Burr do Night of Too Many Stars, and he did his bit about there's just too many people on Earth, so maybe you should just wade out into the ocean. Like, like the bottom 70% should just go out and walk into the ocean, kind of thing. Like, and I died laughing, and again, it goes back to this thing of like saying something horrible that people have to agree with. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, even though it's horrible, it's potentially true.
Yeah,
right?
that's
so people
right.
are like, God, it makes sense.
Yeah,
but it's fucked up to say. Not everyone would walk around saying that.
Like, who would be your heroes? Like, who would you say? Because I do think we're massively influenced by who we're listening to. And I was amazed. Like, I worked with Manolis and Tanis recently, and he was saying, I don't watch a lot of comedy because I find it influences what I'm doing.
Yeah, he said
I'm the other way. I'm the other way.
I love watching it.
Right? So, like, but who would be your heroes? Like, who would be...
Well, the guy that got me originally doing stand-up was Dane Cook.
Really? Okay,
originally.
cool.
He was the first one that when Rich's Circle came out, I bought it, and I was like, like, I didn't know who it was. I don't know how I even found out about him. Like, I was listening to, I don't know if you heard any of his albums. He has, he has one about, I can't remember what the album is called, but he does a joke about, like, the BK Lounge, how his brother used to work at the Burger King.
Oh, okay.
It's called the BK Lounge, and, like, I don't know, that style of humor, like, gets a totally different, it's like, long storytelling humor, but I loved it, and that was back in, like, junior high. Because I started writing when I was 14, he was from Dane Cook. I was like, my God, but the jokes were shit. Were jokes or shit. I still have them all. I'm like, what the fuck? But he got me into it. He got me trying it. So he'd be the first one. Dane Cook, Pryor. Big fan of Richard Pryor.
Right.
Love Richard Pryor. Steve Martin.
Yeah.
He's a good one. Bill Burr, of course. Louis C.K. They're the more modern comics. That's it as being a top three. Dane Cook, Pryor, and Steve Martin, I'd say.
Right on.
That'd be your top three.
Cool.
You like Pryor?
I do. But he's not like one of my.
Not one of your tops.
Yeah, not one of the guys that inspire me. Right?
Bill Cosby?
No, not Bill Cosby. And you're probably thinking that because he's a story comic and I'm a rant comic, and there's a lot, like his longer material and stuff like that. I mean, he's also, a great comic and all that kind of stuff, but not one of the guys that inspire me. Like, I don't know, like, Pryor's great to sit and marvel at, but of all the comics that were ever there, he seemed to freestyle more than anyone. Like, he could actually be Omega funny off the top of his head, whereas other comics would have to take 6 months of honing material to get to what he did in the moment. Commenting on himself or whatever, right? Yeah. So that's hard to even try to aspire to or whatever, but like my guiding lights, like the guys that have inspired me or whatever, first and foremost is Robin Williams. Not a question.
He's got a lot of flack for absorbing material.
Well, whether that's
apparently he pays him off. Like if he accidentally takes a joke on stage because he's improv, and so apparently what I heard and what different comics have told me is like if he does that, he pays that comic off.
And he's big enough and probably fair enough that he can do that. Right?
Yeah.
But my first exposure to stand-up comedy was, well, actually Mike McDonald. Watched him just for laughs when I was like 8 and 9 and stuff, and thinking he was awesome. Yeah. But then, like when I was like 14 and 15, I remember dying laughing at A Night at the Met, which was Robin Williams, and I wasn't like a lot of it was political comedy and American comedy and stuff like that. I wasn't getting even all the references, but just the cadence to his voice and the energy with which he delivered it was murdering me. Just like it was all delivery kind of thing, and loved it. And then I'd say Chris Rock.
He's not a good one, yeah.
Because of the way that he builds these arguments.
Oh, fuck, Dave Chappelle. He's one of my heroes. Dave Chappelle.
Right, yeah. And again, not so much Chappelle, although like someone I massively respect. Like if I had to say the one, it'd be Robin Williams, Chris Rock, Louis C.K., Nikki Payne, Derek Sagan, Mike Wilmot, Patton Oswalt, Patrice O'Neill, massively now, right? Jimmy Carr for sure, because Jimmy Carr there's no one like him for pushing the limits.
No, he's
like seriously, this is a bit of a controversial thing to say, but like he's the only comic I ever heard in my lifetime do a rape joke that worked. Right?
Well, yeah, fuck. I wouldn't even.
Like most won't attempt it.
Yeah, I won't even touch that.
And most shouldn't attempt it because why? What's the point? But he did a piece where it was like, I've written a rom-com. Would you like to hear about it? Would you like to hear the idea? I think part of it is because he's like so proper and British, he can do it. He's like, I've written a rom-com. Okay, so a guy and a girl, they meet, right? Classic. They hate each other. Classic. But then they end up in bed together. Classic. I call it The Rapist. Like, and then and like the reason why the joke worked is that it's a film idea, not something that happened.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no victim. Right. Is the idea, and there's no person, and it's just a film. So like, but that much work had to go into making the thing palatable.
Oh yeah.
Which is why people shouldn't. I think generally, unless you've been in the game for a million years and you got something you really want to say, or you really want to attempt it because you want to prove to yourself how great you are. But
that's why I don't like shock humor. Like I don't like comics that just go up and say something just to get a rise. You know what I mean? Like there's no funny behind it. Like I remember I was talking to Steve Patterson when he came in town last year for a festival, and we were talking. I just mentioned like we're talking about comedy, and we both agreed kind of like if you say it with a purpose, it's okay. But like if you're just saying. Like Pete said the same thing. Like if you're saying like, if you're setting up a joke, I went to the supermarket, and you go, I went to the fucking supermarket. So you don't need to say.
You're exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it works and it's needed, say it. But if it's just something you want to say just to see what happens, you're gonna need shit for it.
Yeah.
Like rape. It's like why? Oh fuck. It's just awkward. Like it's just I've seen it before. It's like shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
They never see those people again.
Right. Yeah.
They get taken out by the Illuminati.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just mentioned Illuminati. You might not see me again now.
Yeah,
the word is out. The word is out. What do you think about all that, man? All like conspiracy stuff. Do you buy any of that, like the aliens and the Prozac and my friend believes, honestly, that there's Prozac and lithium in the water. They're brainwashing us, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna become the servants, man.
Nah. Well, I work with the provincial government, and I don't believe that there's any such thing as secrets in the modern era. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't think provincially, but I think like nationally.
No, man, even nationally.
I know, but no, they're not Prozac or any of that shit. But like,
no, but like, I mean, there's got to be a rationale. Like, okay, first of all, for there to be a conspiracy and all that kind of stuff, you had to have someone really powerful behind it, right? Really powerful people are generally kind of obvious in their power. More than often they exist in the real world and stuff like that. And everyone knows they got money or some sort of they wield some sort of influence. There's very little hidden in today's world, and if they're doing something, there's usually an objective behind it and some sort of risk management. So like maybe someone's putting Prozac in the water to control your brain, but like the odds. Like first of all, what are you trying to achieve with that? I
don't believe that. That's crazy.
No, and second of all, what's the likelihood you're going to get away with it with nobody noticing, without one marine biologist going, this tastes strange, and putting something under a microscope, and we live in the era of WikiLeaks. I mean, Jesus, even the CIA now can't hide their operations in different countries and stuff like that. It's gotten to an extent where no one believes that 007 is a plausible concept anymore because no one can hide themselves in plain sight, anymore.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, not a question.
So do you think, like, guess what? When I talk about conspiracy theory, I know people. You say conspiracy theory, do you think about all this banker shit?
Yeah.
I don't believe all this.
No, I don't. Yeah.
When I say conspiracy, I mean like cover-ups. Like alien cover, like the Roswell thing. You heard about the Roswell back in the day, like cover up.
Yeah,
I think that's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and I would believe that. I would believe that maybe they covered it up because in the '60s, the Americans and the Russians weren't talking to each other, and there was a massive competition between capitalism and communism, and there was a race to space and all that kind of stuff. So if there was a crash landing, they would cover it up because they would want to keep it all to themselves for as long as they could. Whereas if that happened today, I think that they would be out there as fast as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But like, I mean, I think there has to be aliens.
So do I. I think it's arrogant to believe that there's not.
Well, I got two explanations for why there's aliens. One, if you believe in God, one, if you don't. If you don't believe in God and you believe in like the Big Bang theory and all that kind of stuff, and there was an explosion in space, well, we know then from physics and stuff like that, there's an infinite amount of expanding space.
Yeah.
And there's an infinite amount of time.
Yeah.
So even if the Big Bang was a massive, massive, massive fluke, and the chances of that happening are infinitesimally small, if you've got an infinite amount of time and space for that to happen in, it will still happen again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we've got to have life based on that idea on other planets. If you believe in God and you believe that a guy took a paintbrush and put all this stuff on a canvas and we're all here, like
took some beer paint,
right? Yeah, exactly, right. But that we were made. Then what creative being makes one since it's back in the satisfied, right? So like you'd have to believe that in infinite amount of time you want to be creative a bunch of times, he or she.
What are you Big Bang guy or God guy?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I'm a bit of both.
Yeah, I believe in science and stuff like that. So, I'm a practicing Christian, but like,
yes,
right. I go to church and all that shit. But right, but no, I go to church, but
get touched once a month.
Yeah, no. Well, no,
Jason.
Yeah,
have you sinned?
Yeah, no. I do go to church and stuff like that, but I don't. I believe in science and stuff like that. I'm not. Because it's the tenets of the religion that I'm into, be good to others and that sort of stuff. So, it's a way of defining your life. And irrespective if there's a reward at the end, if I get, my spirit is exhumed up to heaven and I get to party with the Backstreet Boys and shit, but...
They dead?
Well, no, but did you see this at the end?
Yeah. Yes.
Right, yeah, so, they did the whole routine with Backstreet's Back and all that kind of stuff at the end when they were all in heaven. Irrespective of if you get to do that or not by being good enough, I just believe in getting along and all that kind of stuff. And
I think this day and age, man, the way the quote unquote being good and the sins and stuff. I mean, who doesn't do any of those now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
Like, it's different when you're back in the day and you're planting potatoes and shit in your farm, but now just social media alone, you probably sin 4 times.
Oh my god, yeah. Coveting your neighbor's wife?
Yeah.
Fuck, that is so easy now.
Yeah, that's so easy to do. I did it before it came.
Well, because Posh and Bex are married, but just look at Posh Spice. Jesus, right? Sin, sin.
And envy.
Right?
Who's not envious?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's lots to be envious of, I guess. I'm a car guy, so I'm envious of people that drive really, really
I'm an ass guy. So I get envious of good ass. I don't know if
that's weird.
Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
You mean you go to the gym and you're angry if a guy has toned
No.
butts? Or...
no. Good girl.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, now I understand.
No, I don't want to. Look at that guy's firm ass. I wish I had one of them.
I wish I was doing more squats right
God,
now.
I got to get out more.
Yeah.
No, I just believe that. I mean, because if you believe in the God thing, not the God thing. I want to say God thing. That God created the universe. Then it only dates back to Christ. What about dinosaurs? You know what I mean? Ever spoke to someone like a devout Christian about dinosaurs?
No, I've never met one of these fundamentalists.
I have.
I have.
I've had countless arguments about the whole gay issue.
Yeah,
and it's just when I mean, it's okay to believe in God, follow the Bible and stuff, but when you're believe that gays are going to hell and just too far. That's just.
I think I got to dodge all that because I got raised in a fairly laissez-faire household. Mom and dad, they cared about us and they were constantly on us about school and our development, and all that kind of stuff. But Mom brought us to church because she wanted us to have sort of a moral blueprint. But she wasn't and God made the dinosaur. It wasn't that kind of a thing. And I wasn't raised, no one in my family was that way.
Yeah.
So it was just be good to each other. That's all. That was the driving message there. So I don't understand people that are fundamentalists. And I only see them as fodder for the Jon Stewarts of the world and stuff like that. They're not real to me. It's the same thing as making fun of a boogeyman that everyone has very clearly pictured in their head. But I don't know who they are, and I haven't seen them.
Oh, they're weird, man.
I'd be dismissive. I think I would be too dismissive to even get to know someone like that.
Well, it's funny because I was raised in a same kind of household like that too. I wasn't. We never went to church, and I did go to church to get my communion and stuff. But
yeah, and Christmas and Easter and
stuff
right. Yeah.
I don't know if even that. She's probably less than that. But it wasn't really pushed on me either. But the whole moral side of it, but. The people, the devout, whatever word there,
devout,
some word,
yeah.
English major, don't even know what it's called. the Christians that I have met have been later on. Like I met a couple years ago that I met, and they were good people. Like they're nice people. But then when you got talking about religion and apes and God, it's just like, whoa, like gays are bad. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because like I even said to him, like maybe you should update the Bible.
But we're turning a corner on that now. We're turning the whole gays are bad, and happy Pride, by the way, and happy Pride Week, anyone that's listening.
Yes.
But we're turning a corner on that. I think finally society is getting embarrassed about anti-gay attitudes in the same way that they eventually got embarrassed about having like anti-minority attitudes, like anti-black attitudes and that sort of stuff. Like you had segregation in the 60s and stuff.
Yeah.
It's getting embarrassing now, and we'll be ashamed to talk to our children about this era that we had where people who are gay were persecuted and stuff like that. Like, we'll be ashamed to say that happened during our lifespans and stuff like that when we're talking to future generations. I think we're getting there.
You know what's sad, though? It was only a couple of weeks ago when I had one of those arguments with the pastor.
For real?
Yeah, on Facebook. Yeah.
With a pastor?
Yeah. Well, whatever he did. He talks at church.
Yeah.
He's not a priest or anything. But I met him when he came here a couple years ago. It's kind of, and he posts this thing on Facebook about gays or whatever. And it's just like, oh, Jesus. Like,
based here or based elsewhere?
Well, he was here. He doesn't live here now.
Okay.
He's American. He lives in America. And, but I got him on Facebook. Like, I know gay people. I have gay people in my family. I have gay friends.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just not a douche. So even if I didn't have gay people, I would be like, what the fuck? And so it just started a whole debacle on Facebook. And people would back him up by saying, oh, the power of love of Jesus. God knows what you're doing. And it's like just the most vague. Like, I would respond with, I would think, an educated thing to say. And they would just not even acknowledge anything I said and just quote the Bible. Well, then, in Psalm 4:28, John said to Peter, like, he wouldn't even talk to what I was saying.
That's a bad argument.
If he it's just like a robot response, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I work in PR, so I've never bought this Bible stories.
How funny is this podcast right now? Eh?
Yeah, right. No, but like the whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing and whatever, they had traditions and values and stuff like that. And let's not say that folks back in the time that the Bible was written were that evolved either, right? So let's take that into account. But like, I'm a PR guy, and if you're selling a religion and you're building a manifesto for that religion or whatever, and like that's not right at the time or it's viewed poorly and stuff like that, then you put in a story about it, and maybe your book is a little more saleable at the time when you're trying to build membership.
Yeah,
I'm just right. Like,
more controversial,
right? I'm just saying,
I mean, gays were prosecuted though back then. And it's documented that they were burned at the stake and just fucked up shit happened to those people. Along with people who, they're witches.
Right.
Oh, she's a witch, burn her. What?
Yeah.
What the witch?
So,
have you seen Halloween Town?
We said and did a lot of shit way back when, but if you're not evolving as a society and as a people and as a civilization.
Well, I said something like around those lines, and they're like, the Bible is God's word. There's no need for updates.
Yeah.
That was actually a response they gave me. I'm like, what? So you're going to keep playing beta tapes? You're not going to go upgrade to a Blu-ray, maybe? Right. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me that you're not going to progress. Yeah. To people.
We got a cool Pope, though, man, and he's got some progressive ideas. So hopefully that'll work out because he's saying the right things and doing the right things and finally expressing openness towards everything and admitting a lot of shit has happened in the religion and whatever. So I don't know. He might be taking some steps to cleaning it out, but we'll see.
I know, I was thinking it's wild. Like, I mean, it's one thing to believe in Jesus, but to believe that, like, did Jesus really believe that? You know what I mean? Like, was that dude really like gays?
Yeah, and remember, secondhand. He didn't write it. It's not like the
exactly,
Bible by Jesus.
It's written by like 4 different people.
Yeah, so,
Who could have just been, like, ever wonder, like, I've wondered this, like, ever wonder just to yourself, like, maybe the people that wrote the Bible were just mentally challenged. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe one of them was an arsehole.
But you know what I mean? Like, maybe one of them was just a fucking asshole that's like, I'm going to start some shit in the future. They're going to think gays were bad.
Could be.
You know what I mean?
Could be. No, I buy it. Right?
Where's the proof that these people were sane enough to write something that now, if religion is based upon? I know it's when you die, maybe fuck all, maybe nothing happens. Maybe just you die, that's it.
Yeah.
But I believe you die. Something has to happen. You can't just... What's the point of life if you die and nothing happens?
Yeah,
or life is to give, people say.
The point of dying then maybe is that you become carbon that plants absorb, and unless you're in a box and you deprive nature of your remnants. But I mean,
that's selfish,
right? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. But just in case there is a God that's keeping a ledger or something, I better be fucking good. And
after we just spoke our way to hell, I think.
Right? Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, I better be as good as I can be, and then at least I can make an argument when I'm standing in front of them. And if that doesn't happen, then I skipped a big argument with God. So either way, I win. I
think there's some sort of God. I don't know if it's a man, but I think there's some sort of.
I like to think of God as a man only because then you can have a beer with him, and it's.
What about? Come on, man, have Budweiser.
Right? It's a little more relaxed. Anyway, I spent too much of my life negotiating with women, with guys you can just hang with. So it's comfortable for me to think of God as a he.
Yeah, I think there's something. I don't know. Like what's your theory on? This is going to be a good podcast because we're talking about things that are interesting now. So let's talk about dicks. What's that? We'll get to dicks. Don't worry. We'll get to that later on. What's your belief on ghosts? I like the supernatural.
Okay. I don't believe in like Ghostbusters and like.
Oh well, no.
I don't believe that there's
Dan Aykroyd going around.
I don't believe that there's paranormal forces that are putting chills through you or like rattling the windows or anything. That's fodder for horror movies, but I don't think that actually happens. But maybe it's just influenced by the fact that you have people in your life that are a big deal to you, and then they leave an imprint on the way that you think and view the world. So they're always with you in that sense. But like I do feel like people that have meant a lot to me are still around. Like in the universe kind of thing, and still watching over and still observing and that sort of thing.
You don't believe in hauntings?
I don't believe in hauntings. I don't believe that they have any impact in terms of being able to influence the world around us now. I don't believe that, but I do believe that there's sort of like the reason why that came about. I think because everyone has their first influential death. Mm-hmm. You lose somebody, oftentimes as a grandparent or something like that, but like it might be someone in. God bless, God forbid you lose them in an accident or something like that. But like my first major death for me was my nan, and she passed away 3 days before I was going to star in a musical. I was doing The Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, I did that?
Yeah.
Where'd you do that?
We did it at the LSPU Hall with a really wonderful theater company called Bill's Bad Dance. I used to belong.
Is that recent?
No, fuck. That was 1997.
Who'd you play?
I played Mr. Mushnik.
Oh, did you?
I was an 80-year-old Jew, and it was so much fun.
I did in high school, and I played the dentist.
Right? Oh, brilliant role! Yeah, that's a fantastic role.
Favorite one I've ever had. Right? Yeah.
But so we had rehearsed this for like 2.5, 3 months, something like that. We put a lot of work into it, and Nan was going to come and all that kind of stuff. And then Nan passed away very peacefully.
Suddenly?
Yeah, suddenly and peacefully. She was when they found her, she was sitting in her chair with a cold tea next to the chair, kind of thing. So she was just sitting. And relaxing and watching TV or something, and she just went peacefully. She went in her sleep. So
it's crazy how that can happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, at least she went the way that we would want her to. But it was 3 days before showtime, and it hurt like hell because she meant a lot to me, and we were really close. But then I dedicated the performance to her, like my way of dealing with it, because I didn't want to not do the show, and everyone was counting on me to keep it together and everything else to. And we put a lot of work into the show. So my way of sort of dealing with it was to say that I was dedicating it to her. And it felt like she was watching. And like ever since then, when I do shows, I feel like she's watching.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sort of influences my idea that they're still with us. Now, really, I mean, what it is, I mean, like your grandparents influence the way you think. And, you have happy memories of them and all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's really how they're always with you.
So what do you think about The Exorcist? Stuff like that, like
exorcism. Yeah, it's a great horror movie. I don't believe that. I don't put any credence or faith in the whole fire and brimstone. There's a devil bullshit. I don't.
Oh, there's a God. Yeah, I think if you believe in God, you gotta believe.
There have to be an anti-God. Like I mean, there's a Louis C.K., but there's not.
But where does the murderers go?
Louis C.K.
I mean, if there's a heaven and there's a God, where'd the murderers go?
What was that?
Where the murder? Like if you believe in God and there's a heaven, like murderers can't go to the same place you're going to go.
Yeah, but then so probably there are philosophers and like theologians and stuff that talked about that, and so for them, hell would be the absence of participation. So you just wouldn't be in heaven. You would exist, but you would not be a part of whatever, like being a part of.
You'd be like outside knocking on the window.
Well,
can I come in?
Well, how about this for hell? Being sentient and conscious, but not being corporeal, like not having a body, and not being able to do anything for eternity.
Just like jail.
Yeah, well, you would just be like sitting there, like you could have your thoughts, but that would, that would, oh my god. That would
suck ass, yeah.
Right?
For rest
How
of forever.
bored would you get after 5 fucking minutes? And then you'd have to sit there and be that bored forever.
And you can't even kill yourself.
You can't even kill yourself. You gotta sit there and just be bored with no iPod or anything. Oh my god.
No fucking music.
Right?
Jesus, not a cracker.
You'd have to try to remember what Kanye West sounds like, and then and probably get it wrong. And if you have infinite time, then you probably do it better than him, and then wonder if it was better than him because you can't remember anymore. And
then eventually he'll die,
right?
Maybe he'll be there and he'll be singing it.
Oh, Kanye is definitely in purgatory for sure. I don't think he's going to heaven, but whatever.
Off topic, Norm Macdonald, another favorite comic.
Oh yeah. Great comedian.
Yeah. He actually has a joke. It reminded me. We were just talking. He was saying how his. I don't know if you heard his joke or not, but did you catch him when he came in town a couple of years ago?
No, and I think I was on the road working or something like that, and,
man.
It was unmerciful. Apparently, while he was doing the St. John show, he had this gag where like he kept going to light a cigarette and not doing it, and he drove the audience nuts.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the show was great.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it. Yeah, he would go to light it and just go no. Put it down. He wouldn't even acknowledge what he was doing. He'd just go.
That's great.
But he just bit. He said, how his dad. His dad died of a heart attack. He was saying how he was like he was talking with terrorists too, and he was like your heart can just. I can't even do it. He has such a unique delivery. Like
he does, yeah.
But he's saying how like his dad. He's like his heart just attacked him, and he died. He was like, who expects their heart to attack? Like, my dad was looking around for, like, Arabs and shit. For people to attack him. And he's like, he told people, was like, my dad died, he died in his sleep. And people's like, oh, well, he's in a better place. So he's on the floor. Like, just the way he does it. I can't even, like, mimic it. Just say it's, what a killer joke. Just the way he delivers it and talks about, like, his heart killing him.
And that's the most rewarding thing, I think, about comedy. Well, one of the most rewarding things about comedy is that like it's very you. Like if you're doing it right, you're putting you out there.
Yeah.
And there's like because like a million people play King Lear, and it comes out relatively like there's certain elements to it that are always going to be the same.
Yeah.
I guess you could say there's certain elements to comedy, but I mean it's always such a unique experience, and I think part of what people glom onto or what they get excited about when they're watching comedy, if they like it, is that they have a sense that they know a little bit of something about this person.
Yeah. Well, if you're not doing a character, of course.
Well, yeah. But even that, though, even like Jeff Dunham or something like that, you get a sense that guy is wildly creative and has voices in his head.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, you give a little bit more of yourself, I think. Maybe I'm just glorifying it because it's what I'm doing now. It's what I'm excited about. But I do...
Well, no, John Sheehan said the same thing. He said that to me when I first started. I was like, do you want people to believe that the guy you are on stage is the same guy they would meet after? You know what I mean? Like, that there's a relation. Like, I can see how this guy, he'd be cool to hang out with. Of course, there's comments like that, and there are dicks off stage, but...
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But I, like, seriously, I enjoy this more than anything I've done in my performing career.
Oh, it's very rewarding.
Yeah, and I think, too, you'll do all right with it if your focus the entire time is always getting better. Mm-hmm. And, like, if the challenge for you is doing the best set you can possibly do every time you go up on stage... that would be the focus. I don't know that's like I've met people, and I don't know if that's always their focus. I think some of them want to do it for like fame, or they want to do it for
money, girls, and stuff like that.
Yeah. And the girls bit, I don't know about that. I don't know that we're chick magnets.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
It's not outright. It's not outright bullshit because I've seen it.
Unless you're big.
Well, no. But if you murder on stage, no, because I noticed from like theater too. Like if you do a great, compelling show, there is kind of an aura about you for that evening, right? So I get it a little bit.
I've had it more with acting than stand-up.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but...
I think that there's a greater sense with acting that you could blow up if you're a young guy and people are talking about you. And
yeah,
you
maybe.
A great performance, but...
I don't know.
You know, if it's what you're doing as a career, too, there's sort of there can be an aura about you, but...
I get asked that. I was like, man, did you say I must get a lot of chicks? No. Yeah. No, actually, no. I get more dudes going, bro, fuck yeah.
Right.
God, fuck, you're not going to suck my dick. Get the fuck out of here. Hold up the line. God damn it.
Yeah. I'm a little too goal-oriented for that, too, because I put a lot of effort in my shows and stuff like that, and there's a process that I have to approaching it.
No, you're not single either.
Well, that's the other... Actually, that wrecked my shows a little bit, or, like, my approach to comedy a little bit, and I'm only recovering now, but, like, when I started doing comedy, like, they say the best comedy you'll do is stuff that you're angry about, or stuff that you, like, really want to challenge, right?
Yeah.
And I was, at the time, I was 35 and single, and I didn't know why I was single, because I had a job, and I made a fair bit of money, and I was a nice guy, and all that kind of stuff, and I just a miserable... My whole life, up until dating Jessica, like, just... worst relationships and everything else. It was comical.
But that's fuel.
So it is. It's all fuel.
Are you one of those people that believe that like you need pain for good comedy?
Yeah, I think you got to be upset about something.
Yeah,
right?
You get driven.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which is terrible because like I'm white and upper middle class, so I don't have a lot to complain about. I'm probably not going to be very successful. But
well, that's like anguish, just sadness.
Yeah, well, this is it, right? So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a lot of comedy about Nan or something. but no. But like at the time, when I started, I had fire in my belly because I was angry about the fact that I was single. So my starting point was relationships, like, and it still is now. Everything I do is about relationships. But I have yet to move on from, like, when I go up on stage, I'm still single on stage, and part of it is because that's where I started, and part of it is because, like, I've had comics tell me it's better for you to appear available on stage because more people will relate to you than if you're in a relationship. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's something. And
I can see that.
But like, I've started to write material now about. That's the other thing. I've started to write relationship material now about my relationship with my girlfriend, but
But that becomes dated too, kind of. You know what I mean?
Quickly, yes.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is, I don't know if I want to mess with that because I'm happy in my relationship. So I don't know if I want to talk about it a lot. So it's a bit weird. But when I started out, it was just like types of women you can date is one of my routines, right?
Yeah.
And it came from dating lots and lots of girls and stuff like that, and never finding happiness or whatever. So that's where that came from. And like bachelorette party came from being a bartender and observing women partying.
You were a bartender.
Oh yeah. I was a bartender for a while. I bartended at the Grapevine downtown.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so right. That is, if you ever wanted to get into the science of human beings, like that is
a great.
Oh man, you see everything, and you see people at their worst and at their best, and all that kind of stuff. The only thing is, you got to be careful not to get absorbed into the lifestyle. Because it's all consuming. Like if you bartend and that's your primary way of making a living, you become a bit of a vampire because you got to be working all night.
Yeah.
So you sleep all day. So you sort of fall out of society, and then all of your friends are bartender friends, and then that's who you hang out with and who you party with, and yeah,
and you're always doing the same,
right?
Same kind of scene.
Yeah, but I did it for a little while, and it was a great experience, and I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh, too bad I don't have any utensils there. You can make me a martini or something.
Yeah.
I've actually never had a martini.
No?
No, have you? Are they good?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty basic when I drink. I drink
beer.
Beer, rum and Coke is my favorite drink. Rum and Coke, I can do that all night. But like beer, rum and Coke. Irish Car Bomb is my favorite shot.
What's that?
Okay, so what you do is you quarter fill or 1/3 fill a pint glass. Or if you've got half pint glasses, they're better to use, but half pints are for pussies, so you don't have half pint glasses here, or maybe in Ireland. I lived in Ireland for a bit, so they had them there. But so you about a quarter fill or third fill a Guinness pint glass with Guinness, and then you take your shot. And depending how you do it, the way you're supposed to do it is you half fill the shot glass with Bailey's, and then the other half is Jameson.
Okay.
Now some people want an easier drink, so they'll do just Bailey's or Bailey's with a topper of Jameson. That's kind of pussy. You go half, right?
Don't have that.
So Bailey's and Jameson, and you take the shot and you drop it into the Guinness.
Okay.
And then you fire the whole works of it back, and genuinely, it tastes like chocolate shake, a wildly alcoholic chocolate shake, and it's awesome. and
What's it called? Irish car bomb.
Irish car bomb, and you can't get it everywhere in town because first of all they have to have Guinness on tap, and second of all they have to know what you're talking about. But you can get it at the Duke of Duckworth, and you can get it at the Grapevine. And I strongly recommend it.
I'm going to try it, yeah.
Oh, dude, do it. Yeah. It's a wicked drink, and you look like a badass. Like, if you're out with your friends...
drop that shit in there.
Right, but you take the shot in the pint glass, and you cheers the pint glass, you go sláinte, right? You know, the Gaelic cheers. Mm-hmm. And then you drop it in, and if there's 3 or 4 of you, you do it all together, and then you pound your glass. One of the games that we used to play as bartenders is that whoever finished the shot last was the pussy. Right, so like everyone's trying to get the thing back in them as quick as possible. Oh, awesome! Irish
so how much you don't feel like? Do you feel like glass up all the way with
Guinness? No. Although
just enough for the thing to drop
into. Yeah, like and a lot of rookie bartenders make that mistake. They pour up a pint of Guinness, right, and then like the head bartender.
It takes forever to drink it. Then
it takes forever to drink it, and then the head bartender wants to kill him because I mean it's expensive to be doing those kind of mistakes. But basically, so you got the pint glass, so it's like about a third full or a quarter full or something like that, and then you drop the shot into it and take the works. It's great.
Yeah, fucking try it.
Yeah, oh man, how it goes. It's the best. Yeah,
I tried it. I can't remember.
Yeah, right.
I think it was good.
yeah. You'll have one. You'll be like, yeah, I can do that again, and you'll like have 4 or 5, and you'll be on your ass. Like it'll be great. But.
Well, I did that. I drank all this liquor one night and just was fine, and then was not fine.
Yeah,
but it was just whoa, it's here. Party has arrived.
Yeah,
I was grabbing the wall, using the wall to walk.
Right?
Yeah. Liquor's one of those things where you don't want to fuck just tequila shots.
Yeah, tequila, it doesn't affect me the way that it affects other people, but because I like tequila. And it
my God, it tastes like, I don't know, it tastes like ass.
You know how you fix that? Chase or Clamato.
Yeah?
Yeah. It'll take the sting right out of the flavor, and you won't know. It's also a nice coater for your stomach, so you won't notice that you just did the shot. Mm-hmm. And it takes the whatever's doing to upset your stomach, the shot itself, it's completely and immediately cured by the Clamato. Huh. Right? That's the way. Now, some people take it down on that as like, yeah, Clamato chasers are for pussies, but like, bar stars...
Well, if you're taking tequila, you're not really a pussy.
Right, well, this is it, right? And then the other thing, bar stars, to them, everything makes you a pussy. So, like, you just don't listen to it after a while. Right? You got people that just live in the bar and then they'll just invent stuff. Like,
you're not going to swallow that knife? Fucking pussy.
Pussy.
Well, I don't want to cut my throat open.
Yeah. Just using that knife to cut limes and lemons for fruit.
Yeah.
Drink. You're a pussy. Swallow it.
Swallow that shit. Yeah. Kill yourself with your knife. What? Fuck.
Yeah.
Now I got fucking, that was a mistake. It's a friend I was with, and that's why guys mostly do the shit that we do, because your friend's like, pussy. Yeah. Fuck, I'll do it then. Give me it.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, come on. He's actually Indian. He's like, come on, it's a man's drink. Yes, Gary. Take it. Put it in your mouth. Yes. And I'm like, oh, fuck, fine, whatever. And fucking gone. I would have paid. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm not worrying about you paying. I'm worrying about me dying.
That shit doesn't end until you're in your 30s. You get to a point in your 30s and you stop giving a fuck.
He's in his 30s.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, he should know better then.
Fuck's sakes. But he's like a kid, man. Like, he's like...
Is he?
He's just... and he has a kid.
Oh, dude.
And a wife.
He's got a kid and he's talking about people being a pussy.
And a wife. And a wife. You know what he refers to girls as? Don't get offended now, but I don't say this. He says this. He refers to girls like... He would like... Because, I'm single. Like, you just got to go get some... You got to get a hole. Get the hole.
Oh.
I'm like, what? What is... Like, first time he said, I'm like, what is that? He's like, a girl. I'm like, what the fuck? You can't say that. You can't go around saying that.
Oh, I'm calling the Association for New Canadians. That's terrible.
Getting sent back.
Yeah, he's learned the culture all wrong. We need to repeat.
Oh, no, man. He said it. I was like, holy shit.
My God.
Yeah, that's offensive to me. Don't go around saying that. And that's what he said. All I can do is laugh. It's like, how do you respond to that?
That is brutal.
Holy shit.
Mother and father would not approve.
I know it.
Like oh my goodness.
But he would say to me, he would like, like when I first met him, my girl, I just got out of a relationship, and he was like, well, I got dumped, and he was like, he was saying, when girls, when they come to you with their feelings, you just tell them to fuck up. What the fuck?
Oh, and he thinks he's the coolest.
Right? Yeah,
that's fantastic.
He believes it too. Like he forces it.
So he watched a lot of Rodney Dangerfield movies in the 80s or something like that. He's like, all right, that's
how it works
culture.
There. Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
No, that's how he is. You just tell them to fuck off. You find another hole. You just don't mind.
That's outstanding.
Yeah. Well, I used to say, just fooling around, like, and he'd say something like, suck my dick. And he didn't know what to say back, I guess. And he thought the appropriate thing to say back was, I would say, suck my dick. And he would say, open it up. Open your dick. Open my dick. First of all, would never open my dick. I don't know if that's even possible without getting a thing up there.
Yeah.
The catheter. And so he would say, open your... I used to do that in my act for like twice. I did twice on stage. And people were like, what the fuck? Yeah, right. They didn't get it. So I stopped doing it. But he used to tell me to open my dick. And call girls holes. And he's a very interesting human being that I'm embarrassed sometimes by.
How'd you meet him?
I used to work at Enterprise.
Okay.
And he worked there at the same time, and it overlapped, and just we started talking, and he's a nice guy. We started talking about holes,
right?
Referring to women as holes. He's actually a nice dude, and it's how we became friends.
You get a lot of chatter time in between renting cars with people too, I would guess, right?
No, we watched them.
Oh, did you?
So we were talking,
chatter time.
We were talking constantly. Wow. Yeah.
So he's working minimum wage, hosing down a car, and he's like, oh, yeah, I get all the holes. That's fantastic.
I get the basket of holes. No, but he has a wife.
He has a wife?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And a son. Wife and a son.
He ain't getting no holes.
No, he's actually no holes.
Damn.
No, but he's actually an engineer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was just working there. He couldn't find a job when he first came.
Right on.
But, washing cars, Gary, will get you the holes. Let me tell you. You go home smelling like a sedan, the girls will be all over.
Your East Indian accent is very Irish. It's tremendous. I love it. It's like he stopped off in Dublin for a little bit.
He lived in Dublin for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Gary, come here. Come over here. Let me see the horde.
Can I take a second to throw out a couple of things?
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
up to?
You put your pants on first?
Yeah, yeah. No, seriously though. If anyone's listening, and hi, Gary's mom. But if anyone's listening to this and they've gotten junk mail from banks or from TV companies or cell phone companies, please get in touch with me. Because
it's legal, right?
Well, it's legal to send it and all that kind of stuff. But if you've gotten it, there's a point that I'm working on a project, and there's a point that I want to make about it, and I need a lot of it to make my point. So, what would be the best way for people to get in touch with me? My email address is jason_card@hotmail.com, and if you've got that kind of stuff, I'm putting the call out. If you would be so kind as to hold on to it. Let me know you got it, and I'll collect it from you somehow. I'm looking to get this stuff. The cutoff date would be early in August. But if there's anything that you receive between now and then, I can get my hands on it. That'd be awesome. I know that Shaw Direct Cable put something out recently because I got it in the mail for myself. And sometimes when you get your bank statements and stuff like that, they'll promote and advertise other services and put flyers or leaflets in with your mail and stuff. I can't say much more about it than this right now, but I'm working on a project to make a point about that, and a more general point about the relationships we carry on with companies. So if you could hold on to that'd be great. And the only other thing I was going to mention there is you can also get me through Twitter at @thejasоncard is my Twitter account, and and I'm probably going to be talking about this a little bit when I play Yuck Yuck St. John's next. I'm at the club on August 9th, and then August 14th to 16th. And then I'm also doing my own show with Sean Burton in September. So some opportunities to see me and some opportunities to hear me comment about corporations. So.
Do you have a YouTube or anything, and people can check out video?
I haven't made it public yet. I do have a YouTube that I've used for the Sirius XM satellite radio contest, and for I've used it for contacting festivals across Canada, because we were talking about this before we went on air. The way it seems to me to go up in the Canadian scene is to be seen at festivals. So I made a demo reel of stuff, and I sent it off to different festivals and stuff. I got in touch with Calgary and Winnipeg and Vancouver and Halifax and that sort of thing. I didn't do anything for Just for Laughs because we showcased here recently for them.
Yeah. Didn't the Sirius XM, we actually get, I don't know if you heard, we get the video and the audio now.
Yes, yeah, which is brilliant.
Great, yeah.
And that was the impetus for me to compete, was that they were going to give me a properly produced video of my work on stage, which was nice.
And it's 5 minutes, which is good, which is what most people ask for when you're emailing the scouts and shit. Yeah.
Well, it's funny, actually. Here, this is my experience. They want a 3 to 5 minute video until they like you or they want to see more. And then they want like 10 or 20 or they want proof that you can do a long one. Yeah. So you kind of got to have a lot in your back pocket. Because like I sent out greeting cards. It's one of my cleanest bits and it's generally appreciable to everybody and that sort of stuff. So that's what I was sending out to festivals. And then in some cases, like Hubcap is another one, right? The Hubcap Comedy Festival in New Brunswick and stuff like that. You know, there was a couple that got back to me and said they were interested, they need to see more. Halifax was like that, we want to see more, right? So, you know, I think that the better way to do it, but you got to be resourced this way or you've got to plan it out well, is to be in their backyard and make the opportunity for them to see you. So I've played Halifax Yucks once. I'm hoping to do it again this year. And if I do, then I'll invite them out to check me out. That's a better gauge.
That's the best. The live stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what's an hour?
That's an hour. Cool.
We reached an hour.
Yeah, appreciate this, man.
Ends abruptly. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, much appreciated. Yeah.
Shake hands.
Yeah.
We shook hands.
Yeah. Just so you know, this ended amicably. Yeah.
By hands, I mean penises. Thanks for listening, guys. It is late. It's I'll put this up today. It'll be technically for this past Wednesday, so I'll label it the 16th.
Yeah,
I'll post it. You have Facebook?
Yeah.
I'll post it on the thing. I don't think we're I gotta add you if I don't have you.
Yeah, do that.
I'll send a link. I'll post it on Facebook anyway. And well, thanks, guys. It's late. I'm sorry, but fuck off. No.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks. Fuck off. But it should be out. The next one should be out this Wednesday. On Wednesday, some stuff came up this week. But like I said, thanks, Trace, for coming in.
Yeah, cool.
And check them out. Check us out. Check out some comedy at Yuck Yucks. And I think Trevor Boris is coming in or something this week.
Yeah, Trevor Boris, Richard Ryder, they've been here for the Pride shows. Jessica Chloe was on stage last night with them, and she murdered. She was great. They murdered. We had a lot of folks out that were celebrating Pride and that were part of the week and everything else. So the vibe was amazing. Tonight, Luke Lawrence is going to be there with Trevor Boris and Richard Ryder. Those guys are amazing.
Is he at Yucks this weekend, Trevor?
Yeah, he's here. And then I don't know who's next week. When I do my shows, it's with Jen Grant and Julian Dion, and then I've got Graham Kay and the very, very, very funny Paul Warford. Yeah. I love of locals, man. I love watching that cat.
And bring back Pro-Am. Let's throw that in there.
Yeah. Just to throw back to that. The point that I wanted to make there, we sort of got away from it a little bit, but like the way that the Yuck Yucks developmental system in St. John's used to work is that on Thursday nights there would be a show, but the first 45 minutes would be locals, and then they would go on with the pro show. I understand why they didn't maintain that, because when you're doing a show that's 90 minutes and you add 45, you're burning out your audience for your headliner, and so that's I sort of get that argument. Although if the locals are good and they're properly chosen, then you haven't burned them out. It's just more laughs.
Yeah.
But the benefit for the comics was that we used to get the mix with the pros in a way that we were seen by the pros as well, and we got some great feedback and that sort of stuff. Now what they've done, and it's cool, is we get Wednesdays to ourselves for a local show, and it's all locals and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's good too, but it's all local.
Well, it's less exposure. And,
it's less exposure.
Experience.
It's harder to sell as a show because it's all locals and folks aren't as interested. So there's pluses and minuses to everything. You can't argue with the club. Like St. John's Yuck Yucks, which is housed at Uptown, they've been extremely good to us. They're big on the development of talent. They know that they have to have a good base here, and they do have a good base here. And like we're all credible. You can put any of us up, and we can do 5 or 8 minutes, and it's great. Or and some of us can do even more. But I don't know. I still miss, and they have tried to integrate us into the pro shows. The best ones from Wednesday night get to go on over the weekend, but it's a little inconsistent right now. So like I prefer to see a little bit more of that.
Yeah, it doesn't really happen a whole lot.
So sometimes we get guest spots over the week, and sometimes we don't. So
Yeah.
that's the tricky part. But I mean, you can't argue with the effort to develop us, and I appreciate because a lot of work went into doing Wednesdays, and when they first started the local show on Wednesday, folks weren't coming because it was a new thing and they had to stick with it. So I'm pretty sure management took a loss on that the first couple of weeks, but now it's a thing.
No, yeah, now
Right?
it's pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you went to the fundraiser. You were at the fundraiser last weekend, right? Were you? Or,
Yeah, I was in the show, yeah.
Yeah, and that was sold out, right?
No, this week's was.
Yeah.
Last week's it was close.
Yeah, so we
close,
built an audience. So like, it's great. I just think when you're doing the development, this is like a little note that I'll pass along to anyone that's listening. Like, the more you can take the new or the local comedians and mix them in with the pros, the faster they learn the discipline that's required to do it. Right. I looked here now on my phone. Next week, which is very pertinent to the people that are going to be listening to this. Next week, you're going to get Mark Walker as your feature comic. Nick Beaton is your middle. I've worked with Nick. He is a murderer. You don't want to miss that show. Mark is one of the nicest cats in all comedy. Very, very talented. Does impressions. Does a wide range of stuff. And Kyle Hickey is your MC. Kyle is also excellent. Watch for him doing his routine called Finders Keepers. It is brilliant.
All right, well, let's... anything else you want to add? Want to throw in?
No, I think we got it covered pretty good. So, yeah.
All right, well, this is goodbye again. I hate that when you say goodbye to someone and you bump into him again. The same, like 5 minutes later.
Right.
It's like, we say goodbye to you. And I act like I care again. All right, guys. See you next Wednesday. Have a good one.